Tonight, not cutting it in the time of COVID, one salon shuts its doors as a pair of employees test positive.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening and thanks for making MTN a part of your night. I'm Tim McGonigal. We begin at 5:30 with the latest on coronavirus in Montana. COVID cases have seen another record 24-hour jump, and health officials say an outbreak at a Billings assisted living facility has turned deadly. This morning, Montana and Yellowstone County reported 3 residents at the Canyon Creek Memory Care have died from the virus. All 3 individuals were over the age of 70. More than 60 people connected to that facility have tested positive for COVID-19. Currently statewide, there are around 600 active cases with 24 hospitalizations. Now, the deaths come as the state recorded 96 cases in one day. It's the largest one-day total yet. In fact, it's the 4th time in the past 2 weeks the state has seen a record daily increase. Montana cases generally stayed low after the state entered phase 1 of reopening, but have been climbing consistently since the state entered phase 2 on June 1st. Just months after salons were permitted to reopen in Montana, one salon confirmed their worst fear: coronavirus in the workplace. Yesterday, Studio Montage Salon and Spa in Great Falls announced that 2 of their team members tested positive for coronavirus. And they've decided to close down the salon as per recommendations by the state and Cascade City County Health Department. The salon will remain closed until the business owners feel the environment is safe for both customers and employees. Anyone who was in contact with either of the 2 infected individuals should have already been contacted by either the salon or CCHD. In Browning, 2 businesses on the Blackfeet Reservation have been closed due to COVID-19 concerns. The Blackfeet COVID-19 Incident Command announced the Browning Town Pump and Coop's Corner Glacier Way C-Store are closed until further notice. The Incident Command's public information officer says that decision was made after it was learned someone in the businesses may have tested positive for coronavirus.
The COVID-19 coronavirus does not discriminate, and they had possible contamination from either workers or persons in the store who may have tested positive for coronavirus. And so, for a safety precaution, our compliance crew shut those businesses down until they are in compliance. And in compliance means that each essential employee must be tested for COVID-19 and have negative test results back. And this is for the overall public safety and the safety of those working at that facility.
And before reopening, those businesses must complete store sanitation. Every employee must be tested and report with negative results. They must also include mask and social distance mandates. Meanwhile, a curfew on the reservation has been changed from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Missoula has become the first major city in Montana to require the wearing of face coverings. Local officials there have approved a rule that requires people over the age of 12 to wear a face mask in a public setting. The motion passed unanimously. The Missoula County Health Officer said face coverings are safe for anyone over the age of 2, and she strongly encourages people from ages 2 to 12 to wear a mask even though they're not required. Starting next week, when you head into a Starbucks, you better have a mask. Starting July 15th, Starbucks says it will require one for all customers at all U.S. stores. And for those who don't want to wear a mask, you can go through the drive-thru, get curbside pickup or delivery. Meanwhile, another 1.3 million people filed for unemployment insurance last week, and that's the latest information from the U.S. Labor Department. The official unemployment rate in June was 11.1%, but economists say that number may not include businesses that have had to close a second time. Something else to consider: unemployment claims are leveling off but are still at historically high levels. Taking a look at Montana's unemployment claims, right now we're seeing roughly 2,700 claims. That rate is slowly dropping. This is down significantly from peak claims in early April of more than 21,000. Well, as masks become more common, some parents may find it difficult to keep them on the faces of their young children. MTN's Jessica Nelson spoke with a Helena pediatrician for some tips on how to keep kids healthy and safe during this pandemic.
To be honest, some 2 to 3 year olds, it's almost impossible.
Dr. Callie Riggin is a pediatrician at Helena Pediatric Clinic. She knows when it comes to keeping a mask on a young child or not touching your face, it can be very difficult, but she says the best thing parents can do is lead by example.
Younger children, it's a lot of redirecting, right? Say, oh no, let's not touch our face. Let's play with this. And I think also as parents, we need to set good examples. So if we're touching our faces constantly, how are our kids, going to know not to do that?
And the same applies to wearing masks.
So kids hear us, right? So if we're complaining about how we hate wearing masks, how masks make us uncomfortable, then of course your child's not going to want to wear a mask.
Dr. Riggin also says the mask does no good unless it fits.
Even an adult size mask, you can make fit pretty well by just tightening the ear loops. So I said, I've seen a lot of people just kind of put a little knot on each ear loop, and that tightens it up kind of nicely.
She also had some tips for parents who plan on hitting the playgrounds this summer.
Pick a park with a lot of open space to run, play, interact as a family, play games, throw balls. You're going to be much safer in that situation than climbing on playground equipment.
In Helena, Jessica Nelson, MTN News.
Dr. Riggin also said if you can include your child in picking out their mask, they'll be more excited to wear the mask with a special character as opposed to a general hospital mask. Meanwhile, the CDC will not revise its guidelines regarding how schools should reopen. However, it will release additional guidance. According to the agency's director, this comes after President Trump has said that the guidelines are difficult to enforce and also expensive. Dr. Robert Redfield says the additional reference documents will particularly help caregivers and schools on how to reopen safely. The Helena City Commission is in the middle of the first of a series of meetings reviewing police department procedures. Tonight's discussion is focusing on the role of school resource officers on local campuses. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has a closer look at the issues that will be talked about.
The City of Helena is holding its first meeting tonight in a planned review of the Helena Police Department's procedures. The review comes after nationwide calls for police reform. Tonight's meeting will focus on the School Resource Officer program, which puts uniformed officers in several Helena Public Schools campuses. Some members of the public have called on the Helena City Commission to eliminate the SRO program, saying they have concerns about whether having officers in schools is the best way to keep students safe, and that the funding could be put to better uses. But others are in support of SROs and say they don't want to see safety resources taken away from schools. Leaders with the Helena School District say they're open to having discussions about the future role of SROs, but that they want to know how any resources will be redistributed before any cuts are made. Tonight's meeting is set to go through 7 p.m. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
And that meeting tonight is being held entirely online. The public can take part by joining that Zoom meeting. Well, a motorcycle driver injured in a fatal Great Falls crash Wednesday remains in critical condition tonight, according to the Great Falls Police Department. A motorcycle was eastbound on 10th Avenue South and a car was traveling westbound. The car made a left-hand turn onto 39th Street. The motorcycle crashed into the passenger side of the car. At this time, police believe speed was a factor. The driver of the car has died. His name has not been released at this time. Detectives are working with Montana Highway Patrol to investigate. We'll update you as we learn more details. St. Peter's Health in Helena has a new president. Dr. Todd Wampler has been a physician at St. Peter's for 15 years and has grown in the healthcare system, taking on roles such as chief of staff and director of ambulatory services. In January, he was elected to serve as president. June 1st was his first day. Dr. Wampler says he wants to improve overall visitor experiences throughout St. Pete's, especially now that the community faces a pandemic.
One of the ways that I could contribute most back to the community is help provide that physician leadership. Our organization had grown to a size that we really needed to have a physician in leadership, driving that quality, driving that patient experience so that we can provide the best medical care for our community. And I think that's the best way for me to give back now.
St. Peter says Dr. Wampler will still see a limited number of patients at the organization's North Clinic. Well, if you or a loved one works in a religious school or a conservative nonprofit, birth control and contraception may no longer be free through the company's insurance plan. That's after a ruling yesterday by the U.S. Supreme Court. The 7-2 ruling says if an employer has a sincere moral objection, they don't have to offer free contraception through their insurance plans. The federal government estimates up to 126,000 women could now lose contraceptive coverage across the country. Birth control advocates express disappointment with the decision.
My thoughts turn to those folks because I truly believe that folks should have access to healthcare and the ability to make their own healthcare decisions, no matter where they live or where they work or where they go to school or what zip code they live in.
Yesterday's ruling also means women may have to pay $30 to $50 out of pocket for their services. Well, we were treated to some sunshine and blue skies today, so is there more in our future? For the answer, we've listed the help of our old friend Elizabeth Copeland, who has a look at our first forecast.
Hey there, welcome back to my home studio where I'll be broadcasting for central and eastern Montana. For the next few hours, we're going to be tracking a nice warming trend through the weekend, though. Already seeing those temperatures jump about 5-10 degrees warmer they were this time yesterday. So after all of that rain moved through, we're actually going to track more of the blue sky. Well, we do have some more rain on the way. So for now, enjoying the 70s and 80s in the forecast as the current temperatures for our area. And those are holding steady right in the upper 70s and low 80s for now. Tonight, we do take a drop down to the 50s. Mostly clear conditions are in store for us tonight, but we do have some rain chances moving in just in time for your early morning drive. We'll break it all down coming up here shortly.
It's practice night for the Ladies League at the Great Falls Trap and Skeet Club. We'll find out more from the club about why women are getting more involved in shooting sports. We'll be right back.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Welcome back. When it comes to shooting sports, more and more women are taking aim, and the Great Falls Trap and Ski Club kicks off its women's league tonight with practice. That's where we find our own Isaiah Dunk with more. Isaiah?
Thanks, Tim. Well, I'm out here at the Great Falls Trap and Skeet Club with Mary Jacobson. And Mary, you're kind of a jack of all trades with this club. Tell me about what's on deck for Ladies League this summer.
Well, tonight is our first night. We're beginning with the practice night. Any new shooters, welcome to come up, give it a try, see how it feels. Then we begin starting next week, a 6-week league that'll run through the end of August. Ladies League, we kind of have a little bit more fun with it. We do theme nights. You'll come dressed in a prom dress and heels, so you shoot in that. A little bit of a handicap, but it's fun anyway. Beach night, so we just have a good time.
Awesome. And, you know, one of the things about this is that more women are getting involved in shooting sports, it seems like. What have you witnessed, you know, with your club?
Well, we've made it accessible. A lot of women start because possibly their husbands or significant others are up here with them. But women are the fastest growing sector of any shooting sport right now. Kids right behind them, and I'm sure that has women come up, mothers come up, they bring their kids up. So even if women don't like to hunt, they love to shoot at clays. So it's competitive, it's fun, we have a good time. So more and more nationwide are starting, regardless of whether it be skeet, trap, sporting clays, pistols, rifles. It's just having a good time.
Awesome. We'll check back at 10 for more information about the Great Falls Trap and Skeet Club. But for now, back to you guys in the studio.
All right, we're tracking rain right back in the forecast for that early morning drive. Coming up, we'll have when the rain ends and sunshine returns in our extended forecast.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Elizabeth Copeland.
Hey there, well, welcome back on this Thursday evening to the living room where I'll be forecasting for you guys for tonight and for Friday. Right now, we're not tracking too much activity out there, mostly activity free for not only our area, but really for all of Montana, as we see mostly dry skies tonight, beautiful blue skies overhead. We do have some changes moving into the forecast, and you can kind of see those off to our northwest as a disturbance is going to start moving through here through the overnight hours. That's what's going to be kicking off the next round of showers in our forecast, not until at least Friday morning. So for now, enjoy those beautiful blue skies of our Opportunity Bank ICAM in Hamilton, where there's only a couple of clouds here and there, but mostly green grass out there and some of those trees swaying in a little bit of a breeze, but it's not too windy, especially for central Montana standards, as we sit at 80 degrees right now out of our US Bank ICAM with a dew point at 40 degrees. So that dew point is going to be on the rise as we see more clouds and even eventually rain move in to our forecast across the Great Falls area as we head through the next few hours. So besides a couple of clouds here and there, just really for the next couple of hours or so. We really aren't going to track the rain in the forecast until about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So places like the Rocky Mountain Front, Helena, Great Falls will all see that rain first as the disturbance moves through from west to east. That's going to kick off some heavier showers right around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, right through Great Falls. And then as it moves through central Montana, it will finally start dissolving, kicking out of the northwest corner right around noon or so. Northeast corner right around noon or so tomorrow morning. So we're going to still see that rain track pretty much along that line of the disturbance through tomorrow afternoon and evening, slowly making its way through central Montana first and then northeast Montana as it exits. So we do have only a very slight chance of severe weather for our very far northeast corner of the state. That's going to be those areas that are going to get the storms right around noon, 1 o'clock. Enough heating is going to allow for some of those storms produce gusty wind, some frequent lightning, and even some heavy downpours at times as it exits the state right around 5 or 6 tomorrow evening. So for our drivecast tomorrow, for most of us in central Montana, those showers are going to affect us to the early morning hours. Again, eastern Montana will see the showers and even some storms later on the afternoon side of things. So for the drivecast in central Montana, going to get those showers around 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. We go from 55 to 61 before finally seeing those 70s and even some 80s back in the forecast as we head to the end of the week and beginning of the weekend. So that's really the only chance of showers we're going to track in our 7-day forecast, at least widespread showers, as that disturbance again kicks off in Great Falls right around at least 6, 7 a.m. right through that 10 a.m. hour. So really grabbing the umbrellas for the early morning hours. But then behind that, as you saw on the future track, we're going to have a lot more sunshine, and we're even still going to return to those 80s tomorrow afternoon. Saturday, another big jump in temperatures as we hit the upper 80s, well above average for this time of year, holding steady in those mid 80s by Sunday. And that sunshine doesn't leave anytime soon from our 7-day forecast, as we still see those 70s and 80s heading through the end of next week. Only a spotty shower on Thursday for us in Great Falls. That's the next chance of showers besides those early morning showers there for central Montana. For Helena, capital city, going to see a few of those showers and storms early again on Friday, early morning till 10 a.m. 80 degrees though after those showers move out. We warm up quickly, still seeing that sunshine, and we're in the upper 80s on Saturday, mid 80s on Sunday, cooling off only slightly for the beginning of next week.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Well, the fall sports season in the Big Sky Conference is scheduled to be played, but coronavirus concerns may put the plans on hold. That story is next.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Well, as the academic school year approaches, the return to college sports remains uncertain. The Ivy League has already decided not to play intercollegiate athletics this fall, announcing Wednesday that it won't consider competing in sports until 2021 because of the coronavirus pandemic. The Big Sky Conference, which is home to Montana and Montana State, has yet to make any decisions, but remains hopeful that sports will be played in the fall. The league's presidents and athletic directors are in regular communication and are weighing the health and safety of players, coaches, staffs, and fans before making a final determination. Football teams are scheduled to report to training camps in early August, giving Big Sky Conference leaders a deadline of August 1st to make their decision.
Everything's on the table, from start and go full speed ahead to a delayed start to moving all the things to spring. Everything's on the table right now, and we feel like that gives us the widest range of opportunities to make decisions. Now, obviously, we'll have to narrow those down as we get closer to August 1st, but right now everything's on the table.
The commissioner said that he's 50-50 whether the fall sports season will start on time, but added that moving fall sports to the spring semester is feasible. Well, it's that time of year, tax time, but with this year's extended deadline, tax season isn't quite as rushed as most years. One Great Falls CPA explained that many filers took advantage of the extra time to get their taxes done, but she estimates that 30% still waited till the last month or so to file. If you still haven't filed, you're likely going to be extended until October to give CPAs a chance to do the taxes of those who secured their spot first.
We still have people that have yet to bring in their information to us. I know a lot of, like our firm, we have clients that have brought their stuff in that we're still working on, and we can't take those people that bring their stuff in today and put them ahead of the line.
If you haven't yet filed and are planning to do so on your own, Morrison recommends making sure you have all necessary documents ready to minimize additional communication after submitting your tax information to a CPA or a tax service. We'll be right back.
So we're waking up tomorrow morning to those showers, grabbing the umbrellas, rain jackets as you make your way out the door early on Friday morning. But if you have the outdoor plans at the lake Friday afternoon, do expect a little breeze. But other than that, perfect day for the lake as we see a lot more of the sunshine, back in the low 80s. Saturday taking another jump in temperatures to the upper 80s and even holding steady in those mid 80s on Sunday, leaving that sunshine in the forecast for the next 7 days as we continue to hold steady in the 70s and 80s even through next week.
Well, the latest fashion trend this year is the face mask. It's helping to keep people safe during the coronavirus pandemic, but it sometimes makes social distancing hard, especially when you're eating or drinking. But that's where Shut Your Mouth comes in. The Texas-based company has created a face mask with a zipper over your mouth. That makes it easy to unzip and take a gulp of water or a bite of food. The zipper face mask will cost you, though. They run about $35 each. More innovative marketing during the coronavirus pandemic. That's all the time we have. See you back here tonight at 10.